We as a species are collectively drowning in our own bullshit. Have you noticed this? What does this mean? This means that all of our so-called problems, war and genocide and abuse and drug addiction and problems in the education systems, problems in the political system, problems with government, problems with environment, pollution, and all. What is all this? Where's all this coming from? This is us collectively drowning in our own bullshit. All of it is coming from bullshit. Fundamentally. Of course, the details can vary as to how this bullshit gets manifested. You know, the bullshit gets manifested in the pharmaceutical industry in one way, in the legal system in another way, in politics in some other way, in relationships in another way, in family life in another way. But you got to look past the individual differences and see the commonalities, right? Because we're looking for big picture patterns here about how the human mind works and how, as a result, society works. The quality of your life is going to be inversely proportional to the degree to which you are full of shit. Which means that if you want to improve the quality of your life significantly, then you need to start to take bullshit very seriously. And of course, here what we're talking about is your own bullshit. And so the more you let go of, the more you uncover and surrender your own bullshit, the higher quality your life will get. That's a very general principle of human psychology and of happiness. You might say this is a law of happiness. And the reason that most people are so unhappy, so sad, so depressed and miserable and frustrated and all this is because their life is based on a big pile of bullshit. It's not grounded in anything true. And so they're spinning their wheels in this bullshit and are not able to get any kind of traction in their life. And they're stuck. And they're drowning in it. And it's smelly. But of course, because everyone has become so good at denying their own bullshit that they don't even realize that this is their fundamental problem because they've become blind to their own bullshit. They can't smell it. They can't see it. They think the problem is out there somewhere in the world. So is there anyone who's not full of shit? Actually, there is. Your cat, your dog. If you go outside and look at the birds, the ants crawling on the ground, the trees, look at them. They're not full of shit at all. They go about living their life, doing their thing, without bullshitting. So really, it's mankind who is the bullshitting animal. And also, when you look at these animals, other animals, and plants and so forth, you start to see that, somehow they're surviving without being full of shit. Maybe I can take some lessons from them. Because at least we know, if my cat can do it, if my dog can do it, then maybe I can do it too. Maybe I can work towards it. And that's what I'm telling you. I'm not saying that you're doomed to be always full of shit forever. That would be a very hopeless message. Actually, I'm delivering a positive message here. You're not doomed to be full of shit so long as you're honest about how much you bullshit. And then you decide to actually work to overcome that. Then you can seriously improve your situation. Now, I don't know if you'll ever be entirely free of bullshit, but you can certainly make great progress. And the more you do, the better your life will become. So you might wonder at this point, well, Leo, okay, but what do I do with this? It seems very abstract and philosophical. Actually, not at all. Really, what we're saying here is that you need to become a lot more vigilant about your own bullshit. Sit down and investigate just how full of shit you are. And how you point your finger at everyone else except yourself. How you are in denial about your own bullshitting. In all the different facets of your life. You see, you bullshit everywhere. You bullshit in your family. You bullshit in your relationships. You bullshit about sex. You bullshit about food. You bullshit about your career. You bullshit about politics and government and gender identity. And I mean, you bullshit about everything. So there's a lot there to uncover. Don't think that you're just going to sit down and in 5 minutes, you're going to figure out all the bullshit that you've concocted your whole life. These bullshitting habits are deeply ingrained in you, you see. From a very early age, almost from the point where you were conscious as a toddler, you started bullshitting. And the reason you did is because it was important to your survival. And those habits, those bullshitting habits, have become ingrained now inside your brain and in your mind, such that now, anytime some situation comes up at work or in your relationship or with your family or whatever, you've just got a knee-jerk reaction, bullshit response already queued up. See, so we got to become conscious of those first, then we got to start to unwire them, to change them.